Dry winter air drifted through the deserted industrial district, while billionaire Marcus Holloway escaped a secret corporate meeting with terror hidden behind his exhausted eyes tonight. Inside a silent underground parking garage beneath the financial tower, Marcus suddenly heard rapid footsteps approaching closer between endless rows of black luxury vehicles. Slowly, a black SUV crashed violently through concrete barriers ahead, forcing Marcus across broken pavement while shattered glass sliced deeply into his forehead, painfully tonight. Dust floated heavily through the damaged garage corridors while Marcus staggered toward a narrow maintenance tunnel, clutching secret documents beneath his torn, expensive jacket desperately. Far above the crowded city, inside a luxurious office tower, a powerful executive quietly ordered Marcus eliminated before sunrise, exposed buried crimes connected to the corporation publicly. Hours later, exhausted and trembling badly, Marcus entered a forgotten roadside diner where tired workers stared silently at his blood-stained designer clothing uneasily tonight together. The sharp smell of burned coffee and cheap cigarettes filled the tiny diner, while old ceiling fans rotated slowly beneath dim yellow lights, flickering endlessly overhead tonight. Before the nervous waitress could reach carefully toward the telephone, a homeless old woman approached Marcus quietly and placed her fragile hand upon his shoulder gently. "Don't cry, my son. I'm here," the woman whispered softly beneath the fading diner lights, causing Marcus's entire body to freeze from painful shock instantly tonight. Outside the dusty diner windows beside the lonely highway station, several black vehicles stopped silently while shadowy men watched Marcus through dark-tinted glass patiently tonight. Inside the silent diner kitchen, Marcus locked the trembling door carefully, while the homeless woman watched him with eyes carrying years of buried sorrow and regret tonight. The old radio crackled softly beside stacks of dirty plates, while Marcus demanded answers about why her voice sounded painfully familiar after so many forgotten years silently. Without speaking immediately, the woman removed a faded silver necklace from beneath her torn coat, causing Marcus's breathing to stop from sudden emotional shock completely. Marcus recognized the necklace instantly because his missing mother once wore the same symbol before vanishing mysteriously during a private hospital investigation years earlier suddenly. The homeless woman whispered that powerful men destroyed innocent lives for profit, while Marcus's corporation secretly buried evidence beneath luxury buildings across the city silently for decades. Marcus refused believing her accusations at first, yet painful memories slowly returned about hidden arguments, locked rooms, and terrified employees disappearing without explanation repeatedly before dawn. Outside, beside the empty fuel station, a black vehicle remained parked silently, while a tall man inside watched the diner entrance through cigarette smoke patiently without moving once. The woman suddenly grabbed Marcus's trembling hand tightly and warned him somebody close had manipulated his entire life since childhood, using fear, lies, and emotional control endlessly. Marcus stared toward the dark diner windows in silence, while realizing the attack inside the parking garage was never random, but carefully planned by someone trusted completely. As distant train horns echoed through the empty highway roads outside, the mysterious man finally stepped from the black vehicle carrying a pistol hidden beneath his coat silently. The diner door opened slowly near midnight, while the tall stranger entered silently, his polished shoes echoing across cracked floor tiles beneath the fading yellow lights tonight. Marcus froze beside the counter instantly after recognizing the man as Daniel Cross, his closest advisor who managed every hidden operation inside the corporation secretly for years. Daniel smiled calmly while removing leather gloves carefully, yet cold hatred burned behind his eyes as the homeless woman stepped protectively before Marcus, without hesitation, silently. The bitter smell of cigarette smoke drifted through the quiet diner, while Daniel admitted the parking garage attack was necessary to protect dangerous secrets from exposure publicly forever. Marcus demanded the truth desperately, but Daniel only laughed softly before revealing Marcus's father died years earlier after discovering corruption hidden inside their billion-dollar empire secretly. The homeless woman trembled violently beside the counter before confessing she once worked inside the company hospital, where innocent workers disappeared during illegal medical experiments repeatedly at night. Marcus felt his entire world collapsing silently after realizing every luxury, every promotion, and every success in his life was built upon stolen suffering and blood completely. Daniel stepped closer slowly and whispered that Marcus's mother never disappeared mysteriously because she was murdered after threatening to expose powerful executives controlling the corporation secretly forever. Tears filled Marcus's exhausted eyes while the homeless woman admitted she failed saving his mother that night and carried unbearable guilt through years of lonely homelessness silently. As Marcus backed away in horror beneath the flickering diner lights, Daniel quietly raised his hidden pistol and pointed it directly toward the woman without warning suddenly. Marcus lunged across the diner violently and shoved the trembling woman behind the counter moments before Daniel fired a deafening gunshot through the empty room suddenly. The bullet shattered dusty liquor bottles behind the shelves, while terrified silence swallowed the diner, and smoke drifted slowly beneath the weak yellow ceiling lights endlessly tonight. Daniel stared coldly at Marcus before admitting he manipulated his entire life carefully, controlling every relationship and decision since the night his mother died secretly years earlier. Marcus felt sick with horror after realizing Daniel had remained beside him for years, pretending loyalty while secretly burying murders, corruption, and destroyed families without remorse completely. The homeless woman collapsed beside the counter, crying softly while confessing she once trusted Daniel deeply before discovering his involvement in the hospital crimes too late painfully. Daniel smiled bitterly and revealed the corporation never belonged to Marcus's family because he secretly controlled everything through blackmail, fear, and hidden political connections for decades silently. Outside the lonely highway station, distant police sirens echoed faintly while Daniel warned Marcus nobody would believe a broken billionaire hiding beside an old homeless woman tonight anyway. Marcus suddenly remembered hearing Daniel's voice during childhood nightmares, realizing he stood outside the hospital room the same night his mother begged desperately for mercy, repeatedly. The woman pulled a blood-stained hospital file from beneath her torn blanket carefully, exposing photographs proving Daniel ordered deadly experiments on innocent factory workers secretly for years. As Daniel's terrified expression finally cracked beneath the flickering diner lights, Marcus understood the man before him had destroyed every person he ever truly loved forever. Daniel backed slowly toward the diner entrance, trembling with panic, while Marcus advanced silently, carrying years of buried grief, betrayal, and unbearable emotional rage tonight completely. The weak ceiling lights flickered endlessly above the empty diner, while distant police sirens grew louder outside, trapping Daniel between exposure, prison, and his collapsing empire forever silently. Marcus threw the blood-stained hospital files across the counter violently, forcing Daniel to face horrifying photographs showing innocent workers destroyed by greed and hidden cruelty publicly tonight. For the first time in years, Daniel's cold expression finally shattered completely as guilt consumed him beneath the same yellow diner lights where every painful truth surfaced tonight slowly. The homeless woman stepped beside Marcus quietly, while tears rolled across her exhausted face, knowing the nightmare haunting them both was finally approaching its painful ending tonight, together. Outside the dusty diner windows, police vehicles surrounded the lonely highway station, while armed officers rushed forward after receiving anonymous evidence exposing decades of buried corporate crimes publicly. Daniel collapsed trembling beside the broken counter and confessed everything silently, including Marcus's mother begging desperately for innocent lives moments before her tragic murder years earlier inside. Marcus closed his eyes painfully while the homeless woman held his shaking hands gently, finally giving him the love and truth stolen from his life for decades completely. Sometimes the poorest souls carry the purest hearts alive, while greed and power slowly destroy everyone hiding behind wealth, lies, and cruelty without mercy forever inside. If this story touched your heart, then like this video, subscribe for more cinematic stories, and comment below with your thoughts about Marcus's painful journey.